With this crown, I declare you our sovereign. All hail the king! I, Esdras, saw upon the Mount Zion a great people, whom I could not number, and they all praised the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, with songs. And in the midst of them, there was a young man of a high stature, taller than all the rest, and upon every one of their heads he set crowns, and was more exalted, which I marveled at greatly. Receive this crown as a blessing from the Most High. May your reign be just and prosperous. So I asked the angel, and said, Sir, what are these? He answered and said unto me, These be they that have put off the mortal clothing, and put on the immortal, and have confessed the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. With this crown, I bestow upon you the legacy of our people. Rule wisely. Now are they crowned, and receive palms. Then said I unto the angel, What young person is it that crowneth them, and giveth them palms in their hands? So he answered and said unto me, It is the Son of Yahweh, whom they have confessed in the world. Then began I greatly to commend them that stood so stiffly for the name of the Lord. With this crown, I charge you to lead our people with wisdom and strength. All hail the new king. Hail! Then the angel said unto me, Go thy way, and tell my people what manner of things, and how great wonders of the Lord thy God thou hast seen. I now crown you king. All hail the new king. Long live the king.
All right. Shalom. First and foremost, we would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem Rakakwadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful lake out there pushing his word and truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh Bashim Shai, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the hopeful lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh Bashim Shai. All right. I'm the brother Yashamat. All right, got the beloved brother Iwataza. All right, out of GMS. All right, Bay St. Louis, Mississippi camp. All right, beloved brother. And just breaking bread, yesterday, we was conversating, and just going into how we've seen, this democracy, transform, into an empire. And America was always an empire, with the mask of democracy. But what we've seen under Trump, all right, these elites are causing, Trump to pull the mask off, the mask of democracy off and really show, all right, the empire, all right, because what we're seeing now is the operating of an empire. Okay, people are used to this so-called democracy where, they discuss, your president discusses things like, healthcare. Okay, he discusses things like infrastructure. He's discussing things like agriculture. Okay, but what you're seeing with under Trump, which he's a do boy for the elites. Okay, you're seeing nothing but empire talk. Okay, look, we're gonna take Greenland next. We're gonna do Cuba. We're gonna take this next. Okay, we took their oil. All right, we that's our resources now. We took that. Okay, that's empire talk. Okay, they're not concerned about the domestic affairs and the day to day. All right, welfare of the Americans. They're confirmed. They're dealing with the ambition of empire. This is what we're
Right.
seeing unfold in real time. You know,
Uh,
so yeah, we got some precepts, and I say you got something to say, bro. You can get into it. Then we get into some precepts, bro.
hey, like you getting into, brother. We're seeing the mask being taken off of democracy. Which was fed to the people as, you have a choice, but you have no choice. Like we getting into, we're seeing a diplomatic empire, diplomacy empire, which is basically
Mm-hmm.
the Roman Empire 2.0. Where it's either you either going to
Mm-hmm.
be a subservient to this system, or dependent on it. Either you're going to bow down to it, or you're going to be dependent on it. Either one. If you don't choose one of them, is death for you, man. That's the way
Mm-hmm.
Trump is operating, man. All right, we don't see, you
Mm-hmm.
got Congress was supposed to, Congress and the judicial system was supposed to be the checks and balance, but there's no more balance with this system. No more, nobody is checking Trump. You know, that's out the window, man. No more checks and balances. He's dictating everything. The law, ruling with what? Imperialism. And America was always based off of imperialism and capitalism. You got what? Blackwater, and Vanguard, managing everything, basically own them to everything, from defense, companies, falls with the military, resource, agriculture, energy, outputs, inputs, so we're seeing the height of imperialism ruling what by the sword. All right, and capitalism, meaning taking all the resources and dictating how they feel, man. These elites. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
You got it, brother.
Come, bro. Yeah, I just got a precept, and like I said, you can break it down, bro. This is the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, in verse 5. It says, yeah, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlargeth his desire is hell, and is his
Right.
death, and cannot be set. Oh, you got it, bro.
Oh no, like it's getting into, man, with wine, man. What's that? His philosophies, his dogma, his democracy, but diplomacy, man. And then when you get into the prefix of that word diplomacy, the DIP, it goes into basically like to submerge, to baptize, and we're seeing how Trump, the elites, are using Trump to baptize these nations up under their authority, man. Okay, either you're gonna get down or you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna lay down, man. Okay, you got it up.
Mm-hmm. And it says, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
Right. And when you go into Revelation, it talks about, how the great whore, speaking of Babylon the Great, is sitting on all the waters, all the nations, man, conquering all nations and bullying
Mm-hmm.
all nations, man. That's what we see, at his finest right now to this day, man. All right, and it's blatant. Trump,
Mm-hmm.
these elites allowing Trump to just basically just show their pump his pride, man. This is what it is now.
Mm-hmm.
This is the Roman Empire 2.0. They're saying it blatantly in your face. They're showing it.
Mm-hmm.
You just had Maduro
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be a sovereign, has his own military, a president, a so-called king. All right, and this man just went over there and snatched him and his wife up, man. They couldn't even get breakfast. Crept in on him, man, and snatched him up. And then before they left, they shitted on him, dropped bombs and blew shit up, man. That's not democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, where's Congress? What the judicial, man? He's left unchecked. The only person that's going to check this devil is Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, man, when he returns, man. He's going to take the sword from him, that blessing from him, because he's the one that gave it to him, man. All right, you got it, brother.
Mm-hmm. Cullen, I want to get this because when you read Habakkuk 2 and 5, it's dealing with Esau being in the mindset of an imperialistic, all right,
Mm-hmm.
imperialist mindset, you know. So I want to get the definition for imperialist mindset, and this is what we're seeing. Okay, so European people, you so concerned with the daily affairs of Americans. No, what we're seeing is an imperialist mindset. Okay,
Right.
that's running the American government. Okay, and like you said, it's just more blatant because it's always been this way, but they tried to mask it. But now the mask is off, man. So it
Yep.
says an imperialist mindset is a belief centered, all right, is a belief system centered on national dominance and expansion, viewing other territories and people as resources or subjects to control for economic, military, or cultural benefit, often justified by a sense of superiority. All right. And what these devils have been pushing with Trump, all right, is Edomite male superiority. Like, look, yeah, we've been conquering, yeah, we've been raping, robbing, and murdering, but we've been civilizing everyone. Because that's why it says often justified by the sense of superiority or a civilizing mission. Okay. So as he's getting ready to transition to his new world order, he's getting back into that imperialistic mindset, all right, that they was in during the time of the Renaissance, during the early European colonization, man.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So they just look at people as resources for economic, military, and cultural benefit. Okay. They're not looking at boundaries and nations anymore. They're looking at everyone as a resource for their new world order. That's why they're going out and trying to do what? Collect all the resources that they can, secure all the resources before they go into this new world order, man. Okay,
Right.
because now it's a digital colonization that we're seeing, this digital colonialism that we're witnessing, man. Uh, I'm gonna finish this off, and you got it, bro. It says or national. It says or national destiny going to manifest destiny, prioritizing self-interest over others' autonomy. It involves assuming the right to intervene, extract resources, dictate governance, and spread one's own culture, viewing such actions as beneficial for both the colonizer and the colonized.
Mhm.
You
God,
got it, bro. You want that? Yeah.
and and like you getting into with all that is set up, to push in that new system, that digital system, man. And we understand, we know that Trump is highly invested in that new system. Him and his family is the majority share owners of Liberty Financial, you know, which is what Bitcoin, so-called Bitcoin, the digital system, digital currency, man. So they have the right. They're using Trump as what is the catalyst, to bring in that system, man. He's going in, he's tearing down everything, the so-called legislations and constitution, all that shit is out the window, man. All right, it was, they teach you in school the preamble, which when you go into the preamble, it's the people giving power to the government to take care of them. But all that shit is ripped out. Like you say, this is a dictatorship, man. It's all about the elites now. It's not, you people are just, they're used, like the brother getting into, it's just cattle, a battery to feed the machine, man. That's it. And they're showing that, man. The Goyim, as the elites call, the American people, useless eaters, man. And they're showing that, man. They showing you that they don't give a damn about you. They taking pensions, Social Security. They going up on everything but your wages, taxing the shit out you. It remind you of the Boston Tea Party, man. Taxation without representation, man. We don't have no say. We don't have no say in what we're being taxed for, how much we're being taxed. It's just all about, benefiting the elites, man. Okay. They going up on taxes, but they're not considering the living conditions of the everyday individual. That's taxation without representation. Another form of it, man. The Boston Tea Party. All right, but now it's set up to where the American people have been, tricked. They gave up all their rights. They gave this devil access to everything about them by way of what? Smart technology, social media. I got something real quick for you, brother.
What you got, bro?
This is Psalms 52:1. I'm gonna start at 1. You got it. It says, "Why boastest thou thyself in mischief, O mighty man? The goodness of the Most High endures continually." It say,
Yeah. It said, why boasted thyself in mischief? And this is what they're boasting themselves in. You know, they're boasting in going and taking other people's resources. Okay. It's just like a nigga that hit a lick and then drop a mixtape. Or these young niggas that be shooting each other up, and then, you know, what's that young nigga Fulio? You know,
Yeah.
he at the graveyard, you know, yeah, 23. When I see, you know what I'm saying? Like, so Trump and them is on the same shit, showing you that niggas are just a micro version of an Edomite.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah, but they're boasting in mischief. They're boasting in, you know, we're taking this nation oil, we're taking this nation oil, we put a blockade on this. They're boasting in these things, man. You know, so this is the devil and the wicked that the Bible speaks of, and this is a wicked empire, man, that's running the earth. You got it, bro.
It says, thy tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor, working deceitfully.
Yep.
It says, thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than to speak righteousness.
Yeah, so this devil, he gets off on wickedness, man. He gets off on seeing people suffer, okay? He gets off on people being dependent on them, and that way he can treat them how he want to treat them, man. You know,
Yep.
he can just be this unmerciful tyrant because you're dependent on him, okay? And how does he keep people dependent on him? By hoarding the resources, man, okay? So this devil, all right, and then he'll lie to the masses like, look, he's going to get the resources, and because he keeps saying, just using Venezuela as the latest example, what does he keep saying? Yeah, we're gonna get the oil infrastructure, you know, up to par, so the Venezuelan people can benefit, man. The Venezuelan people ain't gonna see a goddamn thing off their oil, you know. That's all going to the elite. You got it, bro.
That's just like why he's so concerned with Ukraine, man. You know, Ukraine it has a lot of lithium, you know, and they need lithium to what make batteries to power this new system, man. You know, so that's why he's over there in their business, man. You know, going at it with Russia, man, because of, like the brothers, the hoard up all the resources, man. He don't give a damn about the Ukrainian people or, like you said, the Venezuelan people, man. You know, it's all about like control, full control, man. That's how this devil operates, man. All right, but Revelation, the 6th chapter, it tells us that's what he was created for, to take peace from the earth, to start wars and kill and slaughter, man, to oppress a man in his heritage, man. That's this devil for you, you know. But you're gonna still have, you know, Jakes that follow suit after this system. System is a pit, a trap, a convenient trap. Okay, and he's showing you all this technology that he's making it like it's for your convenience, to help you. It's nothing but a trap, man, to spy on you, to have control over you, man. Okay, you had some Salak.
No, you got it, bro. You can read if you have some more to read.
It says, verse 4, it says, thou lovest all devouring words, O thou deceitful tongue. You know, that's all that's trickery. You know, they come in, you know, they you know, with these poor countries, supposedly, you know, they go in there and offer them aid and help, you know, and development, you know, and agriculture. But once they plant their flag over there, it's like cancer. You can't get rid of them. They taking shit now, man. You know, that's how this devil operates, man. It says, the Most High shall likewise destroy thee forever. He shall take thee away and pluck thee out of thy dwelling place and root thee out of the land of the living.
Yeah, and this is where everything is headed to. Like, we're, you know, going into what the devil is doing real time, but this is where he's headed, to be destroyed, to where he's going to be removed out of the land of the living. Like, this nigga don't need to be around nobody. After this captivity, after this man is put in captivity and we get that labor back that he got out of us, okay, his ass is going to be eradicated from the earth, man. He's going to be removed from the land of the living, man. This is where everything is headed to with this devil, man. And now we're seeing why. You know, the Lord, because as we are the sons of God, the Most High wanted us to learn a lesson front and center. So he got us on front row of this nigga's rulership to see how not to do, how not to be. And we're seeing what the earth looks like when we ain't on our shit. Because the reason we got here, because we fail as the sons of God. Okay? So the Lord is showing us a lesson real time. Well, first of all, us not being on our shit, okay, the earth has gotten to this point. And then it's showing us, okay, this what it looked like real time when wickedness goes unchecked, man.
All
Okay.
right.
So this devil, he's pretty much a case study for the sons of God. All right. The Lord, as he's awakening us up to, who we are, this devil's rulership has become a case study. And that's why brothers, are investigating this nigga and
Yep.
analyzing this nigga, comparing it to the scriptures, then able to present it like, okay, this is why this nigga is finna be judged like this, man. You know? Oh, you got it, bro.
Bro.
You had some. I had that. I got that for you too, bro,
Okay.
because I had been wanting to bring that out, but the
Oh, go
spirit
ahead. Get up. You got it.
been saving it for now, bro. Yeah, because this is what you were talking about. So I asked just a quick AI overview. Is Trump heavily invested into Liberty Coin? It said yes. Donald Trump and his family, all right, heavy invested in and profited significantly from World Liberty Financial cryptocurrency, receiving substantial income from token sales and holding large stakes around 22.5 billion tokens,
Ooh.
making it major, albeit volatile, source of wealth for the family through the firm. World Liberty Financial, which ties a significant portion of revenue to the Trump name and organization, they also profited from the Trump-backed crypto like the Trump, all right, meme coin, gathering hundreds of millions in revenue from digital assets through the value of these holdings, all right, fluctuate. It said, though the value of these holdings fluctuate. So if your president is invested into cryptocurrency, what do you think where do you think the empire is going? But you got it, bro, because that's the information you found, bro. But you can expound on that, bro.
Hey, Con, you broke it down. That's exactly where it's going, man. To the new world order.
Yeah, I got
Supposedly. Digital, the MOTB system, the mark of the beast system, man. That's where it's going. That's where it's heading. That you have these different companies, Samsung and Apple and so on and so forth, which is again owned basically by the elites through Vanguard and Blackwater. They own all. They highly invested in that, man. And what they're doing, they're making everything smart. And when you go into that word smart, breaking it down, it means secret, militarized, augmented residential technology. It's basically spyware. Okay, you're buying things for them to spy on you and to have data on you. So when they come, hey, shit, they got you. These phones, this smart technology is learning everything about you. Okay, you can be thinking about something and goddamn it'll pop up on your damn YouTube feed. A commercial will come on, goddamn, like damn, I was just thinking about that or talking about that. How the hell, it's all in this program. That shit is all that's wickedness, man. This man is trying to have access fully to your spirit, man. All right, but he's doing it. He's doing it in a trickster type way by giving you this technology to destroy yourself, man. But making it as if it's beneficial for you, but it's to your detriment, man. Okay, I got something real quick. This is Psalms 55 and 21. It say the words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords, man. By selling you this technology, man, as if it's to benefit you, to make your life easier. No, it's to make their job easier when they come at you, man. To take you down, to force you into submission. Because going back to it, imperialism, okay, the Roman Empire is either you're going to be a servant or you're going to be dependent, and those two basically line up, man. And if you're not a servant or dependent upon this system, there's no need for you. And what that's going to cause, a great slaughter, man, which is coming through via Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, you got it, though, bro.
Yeah, I got a quick one for you, bro.
You got it.
Because we're going to how Trump is invested into, the Trump family invested into their Bitcoin. So when you go to Matthew 6 and 21, or their cryptocurrency, their Liberty coin, it said Matthew 6 and 21, it said, for where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
Hey, and that's that. And these people are invested in the tangibles, man. Their mind is nowhere on Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah. But us, Lord, when we of the elect, we endure to the end, man. We're all about pleasing Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah, studying to show ourselves approved, prophesying, Okay, staying on top of ourselves, man. Self-examining. Okay, doing what's right in the eyes of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Because what we long for our kingdom, man. Okay, that's what we're invested in. We're not invested in this society and this system, man. You know, but 2/3 steady out here talking about what? Chase a bag. You know, the women talking about this my glow up year. You know, a New Year's resolution. You know, no clarity in that resolution either. Blurry pictures of bullshit.
Yeah. If I can add too, because he say the devil, you know, he's showing you what he treasures, where his mind is at. All right, because you go back to the Time magazine, and the person of the year was all the AI architects. That was a person of the year for 2025. That's where his mind is at. All right, Trump is investing into digital currency. That's where his treasure is. That's where his mind is at. That's where the elite's mind are at. Trump said he wants the military budget to go to 1.5 trillion for this year. That's where his heart is at. That's where he's putting his treasure. Okay, so he let you know that he treasure his new world order, and he ready to go to war with the world about this shit, man. Okay, when the scriptures say that he had but a short time, and he come down with wrath, that's what it's saying. This nigga know that he has a window to try to pull this shit off. Okay, before Yahweh Shai returns. Okay, so he trying to throw this thing up, man. So expect this devil, you know, to start causing, you know, these certain crises to happen more often. So because he can really move the needle when America or the world is in a state of crisis or emergency, man. You know, so expect the devil to start pulling more things off, man, so he can really move the needle with this new world order, man. You know, I got something else for you, bro, in Psalms 10, and then we can go to that chat, go into that diplomacy of empire. So this is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 3. It said, "For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire, and blessed the covetous, whom the Lord abhorred."
Hey, like you were just getting into, man. That's where his mind is at, man. These elites' mind at, man. Okay, the new world order, a digital system, man, where they have total control to set themselves as what? Being the most high, man. You know, and having control over the spirit. That's their next step, man. Okay. You got it though, brother.
Come, verse 4. And it said, just bagging on what you said earlier, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, would not seek after the Most High. The Most High is not in all his thoughts.
Exactly. And they're showing it by way of their actions, man. The things that they're passing and pushing through their legislation and their laws, man. Okay, the wickedness they're spreading abroad, the injustice. Okay, that the Lord don't operate like that, man. All right, that just shows you that these people are contrary to righteousness, man. Okay, you got it though.
Come on, bro. So I want to go here because this is the main thing. You know, me and the brother was discussing yesterday. Well, how these devils are moving, you know, in which they're in this empire state of mind. Now, when you go to democracy, diplomacy, okay, which, you know, they still did this with a gun, all right, to the head of these nations, but it was more diplomatic, you know, when you go back into, you know, the 50s or 60s, okay, but then when he got to the 70s, you know, the devil, you know, he began to be more imperialistic. Okay, imperialist. I mean, it says democracy, diplomacy. It says core idea promoting cooperation, self-rule, and mutual interest among sovereign states. It says main goals: encourage democratic governance, protect national sovereignty, build alliances based on consent. Okay, not forcing people to be allied with you. Resolve conflict.
That's a cut right there, you know, to this to that we're not operating under that. This system is not operating under that, man. Because what they just did, they ain't protect the sovereign. Trump just went over there and snatched Maduro up. So that's a cut to that, and leading back to like you're about to get into democracy, diplomacy, man. Okay, which is ruling by the sword, man. You got it, dog.
And then, like I say, with Maduro, he just won a meeting. You know, the CIA.
Exactly.
Okay, the American government, man, they topple so many different governments throughout the world. This just been the latest,
Exactly.
and it's just been, heavily covered. But these devils, they toppled so many governments, okay, since they become a superpower, man, okay, for non-compliance, okay. It says typical methods. It says treaties and multilateral agreements, international organizations, the UN, the EU, the OSA, OAS. It says economic aid, trade agreements, cultural exchange, and soft power, sanctions, usually framed as legal or moral pressure. It says power relationship, ideally equal partners. Influence comes from persuasion, shared values, and legitimacy. Okay, so when you go to here to empire diplomacy,
Hmm.
okay, and this is going to describe what we're seeing real time now. So
Right.
empire diplomacy core idea: maintaining dominance, control, or expansion over other territories or states. Main goals: preserve imperial power, secure resources, trade routes, or strategic positions, control or heavily influence other governments, prevent rivals, Russia, China, Iran, from gaining influence. Military, I said typical methods: military force or threat of force, regime installation or removal. This is what empires do.
Right.
Okay, colonial administration or indirect rule, unequal treaties, economic coercion tied to political obedience. Okay, so this is what we're seeing, from the American government. Is this is empire diplomacy? Okay, democratic diplomacy is dead and gone. This is all empire diplomacy where everything benefits the empire.
Yep.
Okay, we're gonna hoard up the resources,
Hmm.
okay, and we'll ration them to you as we see fit,
Right.
okay, and it's gonna be according to your behavior, your conduct. If you do something that's not pleasing to the empire, you're punished, okay. If you
Uh,
play ball and be, you know, uh, 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 obedient vassal, or like you say, obedient vassal, okay, or an obedient slave, okay, then you get a few perks here and there. Okay,
right.
you got, bro. You finna say something?
Shit. We can add. What it was: capitalism, imperialism, and colonialism. Where shit
Yep,
they
yep.
force their ways upon you. So they rule by the sword, or gather up all the resources and force their ways upon you, their dogmas upon you. That's an understanding of this devil. Hey,
Yep, yep, yep.
I got a precept for y'all.
You got, bro.
All right, this is Psalms 94 and 2. I'm gonna start at 2. It says, "Lift up thyself, thou judge of the earth. Render a reward to the proud. Lord, how long shall the wicked, how long shall the wicked triumph? How long shall they utter and speak hard things, and all the workers of iniquity boast themselves?" They go to point right here. It says, verse 5, it said, "They break
Mm-hmm.
in pieces thy people, O Lord, and afflict thine heritage." You got it up.
Mm-hmm. Hey, cause you see, um, like you look at America and what they're doing. It's just like a slave owner. Just going around this plantation beating his slaves. And that's why he's able to have his way. In America, all right, and in Central South America, because that's the tribes. That's the 12 tribes chart. You look
Done.
at who the devil is aiming at. You just look at the 12 tribe charts. Okay, and these are all the countries, okay, in which this devil is waving the fist at, man.
Done.
Okay, because he's just breaking in pieces the tribes. Okay, in which our people, especially in the Northern Kingdom, they heavy into idolatry, man. So they're still powerless against this devil. Okay, but what we're coming into now, the devil is gonna get bold and make his move towards the church, man. And that's when it's gonna change for his ass, man. That's when the tide really gonna shift. Okay, and the Lord gonna
Done.
show the devil what he do to empires, man.
Exactly.
Okay. Yeah.
Brother. I got
I
you
got
got
some
something.
real quick.
You got it. You got it.
Yeah, just real quick. Going into empire because this is Revelation 13:11. And I beheld another beast coming out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. Okay, and this is America, man. And those two horns are those two political systems, to where here it is, and then it shows you that's a contradiction in itself. The
Right.
fact that this is supposed to be a democracy where the people are supposed to rule. But wait a minute, why do you only have two options, Republicans and Democrats?
Woo.
Okay, what if you don't? What if you don't view with neither one of them? What if you don't agree with either viewpoints?
Right.
But you're confined to these two options, Republicans and Democrats, man. Okay, they said they speak like a lamb. Okay, they speak, they're peaceful. They're here to be an aid unto you. The Republicans push as if they're trying to save you from the Democrats. The Democrats, they push as if they're trying to save you from the Republicans. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
but it's two horns on the same dragon. Okay,
Con.
it says and he spake as a dragon. So what we're seeing now is the dragon beginning to speak. They're putting off those two horns.
Yep.
Okay, those two horns, that system of Republican, all right, and Democrat, that's old. That's part of the old world. The new world, all right. The introduction to the new world is him speaking as a dragon. Okay. And when you go into verse 12, it says, and he exercised all the power of the first beast, going back to what? That pagan Roman Empire, man. Okay. And it causes the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Okay. So as the Greco-Roman Empire, it fell from power, it suffered a deadly wound. Okay. Well, then you have the era what you call the Dark Ages, but after the Middle Ages when Jake was running Europe, Russia, okay, the Byzantine Empire, all right, you had the Moors, in Granada, okay, but when all that fell to Esau, okay, because he was allowed to come back into power, what happened? That deadly wound began to heal, okay, and now is what we see today, which is a digital Greco-Roman Empire, man. Okay, so he exercised all the power of the first beast, and what was the Roman Empire able to do? It was able to interfere with other people's politics. Okay, it was able to have control of other kingdoms' resources. It was able to, all right, militarize and make these other people a part, okay, of what the Roman military. Because see,
Yep.
Rome was vast, so they couldn't dispatch, militaries everywhere. So they will put these vassal states. They will have to have military alliances, okay, with Rome, okay, to help defend Rome, just like NATO. You know, NATO, America, all right, can't send troops everywhere. So NATO fills in the blank. Okay, French and the British and all the different vassals, they fill in the blank where America can't be it all the time, man. So we're seeing America exercise all the authority of the pagan Roman Empire, man. You got it, bro.
Hey, hey, but at the same, we're understanding that, with him coming down with that great wrath, hey, that the Lord is going to break him, man. He's
Mm-hmm.
going to break all that pride, man, very soon, man. And that's why we do what we do, man. Staying in line with Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah so we can witness it, man. In those chariots, man. All right, because hey, this devil is wearing Jake out, man. These different systems that he putting in play. Man, it's mind-boggling. But hey, through the comfort of these scriptures, knowing that it's an end to this madness. Hey, man, we keep pushing forth through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Because the Lord, again, is about to break up this devil's pride, man. His military, his system, everything, man. All right. Though he come down with that great wrath, we understand that ain't no wrath greater than Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah's, man. All right, and the Lord's going to turn it on this devil, man. Okay. I got something for you, y'all. Got a precept.
Come on, bro. Come, you got it.
This Psalms 58, and I'm going to start at 6. It reads, break their teeth, O Yahweh, in their mouth. Break out the great teeth of the young lions, O Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shah. That their teeth is the military might, Esau's military might, man. Okay. The Lord is about to break all this shit up. That imperialism, he's about to break all that up, man. Okay, it says, let them melt away as water which runneth continually. When he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrow, let them be as cut and let them be as cut in pieces. You know, the Lord is about to use the same the same sword that he gave this devil the blessing, you know, through Isaac, which we understand Yahweh Shah. Hey, the Lord is going to use that same sword, all right, to have Esau fall upon it, man. His technology, those thermonuclear missiles, you know, he thinks that he built them to conquer, but he built them to be conquered, man. Okay, by Yahweh Shah, because the Lord is going to allow these nations to shoot off. America going to shoot off too, but a lot of these nations to shoot off those missiles, those arrows, to take this devil down, man. His system, his infrastructure, everything's down. Okay, so the Lord has Esau in the trick bag, all right, but he's too proud to see it. All right, it says, as a snail which melted, and you know one thing about snails, you know, you put salt on them, what? They melt away. All right, and through the spirit and power, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah, which we understand everything starts spiritual, then it manifests over into the physical. We are that salt on the snail. Esau is the snail, man. All right, by us teaching his word, starting our apostle, elders, and bishops on down, hey, we're spiritually burning down this kingdom, man. All right, and Esau knows it, man. That's like the brother said, it's going to turn up. You know, the Lord's going to make his move when Esau come after the church, man, because he knows that he has a short time, man, by way of this word going out there, by way of the men of the Lord, like you said earlier, breaking his ass down, man. Okay, through the spirit. All right. It says, as a snail which melted, let every one of them pass away, like the untimely birth of a woman, that they may not see the sun. You got it, though, brother.
Come. So at the end of it all, man, as the brother's getting into, the Lord finna break this shit up, you know, and really what we're seeing, because when empires decline, what they try to do is expand. Okay, they try to expand to mask their decline. They try to show, they try to showcase power as they're declining. They're trying to project power on the way down. Okay, and this is usually what empires do, dealing with these heathen, especially Edomite empires. Okay, so what we're seeing is this devil is trying to project power on the way down. Okay, and he's getting tacky. All right, and his ass getting called out. He getting stretched thin. Okay, and when he take his ass over there, okay, to the east and deal with them warriors over there in the east, okay, his ass gonna get embarrassed, man. And then how Shot's gonna come and embarrass all their ass, man. So yeah, I think that's the point, bro. Unless you had something else.
No, we close out on that. I mean, I got a closing precept.
Yeah, go ahead, bro.
All right, this is Jeremiah 50:23. It says, how was the hammer of the whole earth cut asunder and broken?
Yep.
How?
Now you got it, bro.
It says, and broken. How has Babylon become a desolation among the nations?
Yeah, and it's the will of the Lord. You know, just to sum it up, simplify it. Okay, because we can get into, you know, the logistics of it, but then just to simplify it, it's the will of the Lord. Okay, he used this man to be this great hammer in the earth, you know, to beat these nations in submission to the will of the elites. Okay, and now he's going to break up what the elites are trying to pull off, and he's going to break up the hammer. Okay, so this great war machine of America that the elites, you know, have invested into, okay, is finna be broken up. All right, and the Lord has, you know, a conglomerate of nations to begin that process. Okay, starting with Russia, and then Yahweh Shai is coming, all right, to finalize everything, man. You know, put this bitch in the dirt, literally. Okay. Yeah. What Jake say, go pick your mans up. You know what I'm saying? Pick your mans up.
No.
Yeah, so yeah, but yeah, the point been made, you know, Lord will, you know, you brothers, all right, and you sisters, you know, we're edified. You know, once again, want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders of GMS who rule well, teach well, being great examples to his younger brothers, and peace and blessing salutations to the hopeful Shalom.
Shalom.